Hello everyone and welcome to another video on our MATLAB tutorial from Federal University of Technology, Minna. And in this video we're going to be taking a little bit deep dive into arrays and indexing. From our last video we talked about how to access um, elements from our matrix. We also looked at various functions on how to automatically generate our matrices, whether we want it to be static or want it to be what random. So in this video, we're going to continue from where we stopped in our previous video. So taking a look at this matrix here, V1, as you have here, this is a 2 by 5 matrix, 2 rows and 5 columns. We're able to extract the what? Okay, this wasn't the fourth. Okay, this shouldn't be the fourth element rather because from our last video we actually used this variable to access our fourth element before transitioning to the 10th element. So I'm going to just change this to value just to give it a neutral look. So I'm going to run this. Good. So what if we want to access the 56th value? So this number 56. So now we know this is sitting on the second row. You must always start from the row before the column when you're trying to call it. So this is on the second row and on the what? On the third column. So I'm going to change this to instead of 5 to 3. And then I'm going to run this and then we're going to have 56 as we should. So moving on, what if we want to access an entire row, for example? So let's say we want to access the whole of row 1. So 1 can be equal to v1, v1, and then we're going to say um, this is the first row. We want to access everything in the first row and nothing from the second row. So let's do this. I hope you understand. Now, this remember we came in contact with this symbol from our previous videos. So this is more like through, but more like everything in compact with in relation to something like that. I hope we get the gist. Or we can easily just say this time whenever we see this symbol, it's talking about okay a particular range or yeah a particular range of values. So let's run this. So now we have our first row. So what if we want to access the second row? Same thing. So we'll have row 2 will be equal to v1 still. Now I believe why is v1 because v1 is a value is a variable that has our matrix. There is where our matrix is actually stored. So we're going to say instead of 1 it will be 2 comma then our colon. So we run this and then we have our second row there. So the same thing we can actually do for column. So we want to say col column 1. So instead of so this is going to be this is going to be 2 and this is going to be 1. So this is going to give us everything in the word first column which is 1 and 10. I hope we got that. So let me repeat. This is code 1. This is a variable, and then this is v1. This is where our matrix is stored. Then we have our opening bracket and closing bracket. Then we have our colon symbol, and then 1. Now remember the second argument when you're talking about matrix belongs to or is when you talk about the second argument you are calling for the word the column, right? But the first argument is usually the word the row. So like we have here 2 comma 3, this means the second row and the third column always. So this means here this means the first row. That means we're getting everything in the so our concern in this particular line of code is only the word the first row and then everything but we need everything in it. That's where this column comes in. Everything in the what in the first row. So and everything in the first row is what we have here. In this second line, in this fifth line of code, we have column 1 is equal to v1. v1 is where our matrix is stored. Now we want everything, remember this sign, this symbol, everything in the first column. in the first column because this is for column Y, this is for what? Row. I hope that is clear. So when I did run that, we have that. So if I change this to column 2, for example, so this is going to be what? 2. Then we run this, and then we can have everything in what in the second column, which is 2 and 5. And what if we want to change the value, for example? Good. So let's say we want to change the value. So I'm going to come here. I'm going to create a text, just changing, just make it a little bit cleaner. Changing values in okay in matrix. So make it bold and make it this, and then we go back to our code. So first of all, let's say we want to change this. Instead of having let's say 10 here, let's make it 50. So first of all, we need to identify where is 10 in our matrix. First of all, we have a matrix, and the matrix is what? V1. V1 is the name of our matrix. So what are we trying to get from V1? We're trying to get this element, this element. So what is its index? Index means what is its position. Well, it's on the second row. We have to start from the row first. It's on the second row and on the what? First column. Yeah. So we have, if I were to run this code, we are to have 10 here. Good. Answer is equal to what? 10. Correct. Means we got the right position and the right value we were looking for. So it's going to be equal to, so instead of 10, we want it to be equal to what? 50. So we run that. So now you can see that the entire matrix has been changed from V1, that is 2 by 5 here, we're having 10 here, to 50 in that same position. This can also work for the whole row and column. Let's say we want to change the whole row, for example. So you can say V1. Now remember, to get the whole row, the first row, or let me just change it to second row. Now second row comma, then the what our column sign will be equal to. So now we need in this place you need to make sure that whatever the number of elements you're putting inside your square bracket has to match the original number of elements in the second row. So let's change everything to 7. So this will be 7, 7, 7, 7, 7, 7. I think there are 5 here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, 6. So making that 5, because I think we have 5 elements here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Good. So by the time we run this, everything in our in the second row, rather in our matrix V1 will become all 7s as we have here. So you can also practice that using the row and to actually extract and to actually what. I hope from this video you now have a solid understanding on how to access and how to also what change values in an array or in a matrix.